Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. Today's story is a Norwegian folktale. It's one that was translated by a good friend, Simon. And it's a variation on a story that we've heard previously. That story was Trond. And this is the Molly of Dovre. Once upon a time, there was a man up in Finnmark who had caught a large white bear. He would go to the king of Denmark with it. It so happened that he came to the mountains of Dovre one Christmas Eve, and there he went to a cabin where there lived a man called Halvor. Here he asked if he might have houseroom for himself and his white bear. "Oh, God help us," said the man in the cabin. "We can give no one houseroom now, for every Christmas Eve there come so many trolls in here that we have to move out. We don't have a roof over our heads ourselves." "Oh, you may give me houseroom anyway," said the man. "My bear can lie under the stove here, and I suppose I can lie in the alcove." Well, as long as he asked, he was allowed. So the people moved out, and then everything was made ready for the trolls, with the table set with sour cream porridge and lutefisk and sausages, and everything that otherwise was good, just like any other sumptuous feast. And just like that, the trolls arrived. Some were big, some were small, some had long tails, some had no tails, and some had long, long noses. And they ate and drank and tasted everything. But then, one of the troll younglings saw that the white bear lay under the stove, and he took a piece of sausage, put it on a fork, and grilled it. Then he went over and placed it before the nose of the white bear so that it burned him. "Molly, won't you have a sausage?" he shrieked. And the white bear jumped up and growled and chased them out, every one, both large and small. The year afterwards, Halvor was out in the woods in the afternoon on Christmas Eve, again gathering wood for the weekend, for he expected the trolls again. The year afterwards, Halvor was out in the woods in the afternoon on Christmas Eve, gathering wood for the weekend, for he expected the trolls again. As he chopped away, he heard a call in the forest. "Halvor! Halvor!" "Yes," said Halvor. "Do you still have that big Molly?" "Yes, she is at home underneath the stove," said Halvor. "And now she's had 7 kittens, and they are much larger and angrier than she is." "Then we will never come to you again," shouted the troll away in the forest. And since that time, the trolls have never eaten Christmas porridge at Halvor's in Dovre. And that is the Molly of Dovre, a Norwegian folktale in the fine tradition of house-crashing trolls at Christmas. This is Dan Scholz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere that you like to get your podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and CastBox. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every weekday morning. And if you enjoyed this tale, head on over to norwegianfolktales.blogspot.com for more of Simon's amazing translations. Thanks for listening.